Good afternoon. Mikeycat Outdoors here. So what are we doing today? I'm here in a Dutchware Netless Hammock chair. Got this in 1.2 Hexon fabric. Supports 275 pounds in this configuration. Got the whoopee hook suspension and a couple little straps extra that I didn't use in this setup. Let's check it out. Alright, so I got this on Dutchware's website. They're having their holiday sales and decided, yeah, I've been thinking about it for a good year or so. I thought, yeah, I'll go ahead and pull the trigger finally. They had two different versions of it. I got the little less expensive one that was actually from Dutchware. They also had the 2TQ or something like that on their site. I'll pull that up. And I'll run down some of the specs here for you. So the actual chair itself starts out at $41. And I got this one, like I say, in Hexon 1.2 fabric, Coyote Brown. They also got Cloud 71, Hexon 1.0, Hexon 1.6, I believe. So you can go over 300 pounds on the weight ratings, depending on the fabric, or as low as 200 pounds. I just decided to go in the middle and give myself a little wiggle room, depending on who's all going in it. And this one, the base weight is 140 grams, and the suspension option that I got, they got a couple of them here where you can get the not just the continuous loops that come with it. You can get the whoopee hook suspension with the 5-foot tree hugger loops. That's what I got. That's extra $51. That's the pricey, you got it all kind of suspension option. And they also have just the two basic whoopee slings for $16 as a cheaper option. So this one's not too bad. Took a little bit of fiddling around just to get it all set up. Yeah, I forgot to mention, with that suspension that I have, with everything, even the stuff I don't have on it right now, the weight of the suspension was 115.99 grams, and total weight came out to 255.99 grams for both suspension pieces, the little titanium hooks, the hammock, all that, for a total of $92. So that's still cheaper than a regular gathered-in hammock with full suspension. I think the cheapest one of those you can usually find is $135, $150 when you got a sale going on. And this thing's a lot lighter. I mean, 256 grams. So let's see, 500 grams is roughly 1.1 pounds. So you're talking about a half a pound here. Most hammocks are going to be at least a pound. So this is about half the weight. And I guess the good thing about this, you can use it not only just as a chair, you can nap in it. You know, you're on trail somewhere and you want to take a lunch break, take a quick little nap, you can whip this sucker out. It's real compact, set up between a couple trees, don't have to be too far away, and just hang it a little loose. You don't really want the suspension to be super duper tight because you want to have some slack in the hammock material, just so you can get your body to curve in there. Otherwise you're not going to fit in. And the foot end, I got this suspension maybe 2 feet at least. Not quite 2.5 feet, but somewhere in that range. If you put it up higher, you can put your feet up a little higher and take a little nap in it. And let's see, I can put my feet up on the suspension, put my arm back if I want, and just start sawing some logs. But the head end, I put that sucker up above my head height. Tried to put it as high as I could and gave it quite a bit of slack on that end. just because the end of it, I want it to come down somewhere, probably in a 5-foot range or so. And like I said, I had to fiddle around with it for a few times just to get the setup. When I did it too tight, you couldn't even sit in it. So you're better off if you just kind of lay it all nice and mellow and easy and relaxed, and you can just get in here and just get a good feel for where you're at. I did try the traditional 17-foot tree distance at first, and yeah, that did not work at all. I was pretty much falling on the ground when I tried that. Trees I'm on right now, they're probably, I want to say maybe at most 8 feet apart. They're not that far. You know, so you just half your distance down. So if you find a couple trees that are close by, it'll work out pretty well. But yeah, I'm just rambling here a little bit. It's kind of neat. I've played around with like Helinox chairs and little 3-legged stools from Hill Sound and other places. And you know, a lot of those things you can get down to a pound in weight. But something like this, you get down to a half a pound. I mean, it's a little bulky, but I mean, you're only like this big. I mean, there's jackets that are bigger than that when they stuff in their own pockets. So, like if you had a Patagonia puffy jacket or something, you know, it's probably half the size of that by the time it's all packed down in its little sack that's attached to it. And you know, it just gives you a nice little option to relax when you're out on trail. And I've had this before where I've been out, wanted to sit down. Now you could put down the actual chair and carry that pound of weight around with you the whole time, or you could get one of those tiny little accordion sit pads for about 3 ounces that are made out of foam, and that's fine and dandy. But if, you know, ground's muddy or you got you know, problems getting up and down, weak wrists, whatever, yeah, you know, that could be a pain sometimes. Just kind of nice to get up off the ground. With this, I mean, you can lean back, relax, eat your lunch, take a nap. You don't have to whip out the full ensemble of a hammock. So, I mean, if you're tent camping, you know, this kind of makes sense as an option. If you're hammock camping, yeah, you could always whip out a regular hammock and do that. But this is so much simpler, just to kind of set it up, relax into it a little bit, just pop it right back, and I mean, it fits in your pocket. So overall, not too bad. Just a little tricky working out how to set it up and some of the suspension options. I'd say another thing you could probably use with it, not as light, is if you got just some regular carabiners that are weighted for hammocks and just your continuous loop straps. You could use those too if you don't want to go out and spend the money for the whoopee hook suspension that they have. And I think it would work just as well. I mean, it might, you know, add a little weight here or there, but you know, you got options. And the hammock itself, I think, is about 5 foot long in the fabric. So regular traditional hammock's going to be 10 or 11 feet in length, you know, for regular gathered in hammocks. So this is roughly half the size and also half the weight. And, you know, just gives you another arrow in your quiver, something to play around with at camp and relax, have a good old time. The lollygag life. So my camera died on me. Gotta love it. So, besides using this as just a regular reclining chair, one of the nice things you can do with this hammock is when you're at camp, if you've got a hammock with you, you can set this up alongside your hammock and use it as a gear hammock. Whether you want to use the whoopee sling suspension and hang it off of your regular hammock suspension, if you want to hang it up between the 2 trees or off other trees, however you want to float your boat on that, you can put your gear up off the ground and still keep it under your tarp and stuff. So that way it doesn't get wet if it's raining or something like that. You don't have to have it down on a ground tarp. You don't have to hang it necessarily from your hammock and make your hammock sag a little more. So you can have this on its own suspension, or, like I say, hang it up on your suspension of your hammock. Potato, whatever you feel comfortable with. And depending on how much weight you got in your pack at the time, too. But this gives you a nice little option for stuff like that you can use this dual use, whether you're tent camping, whether you're hammock camping. Like I said, if you're just on a trail and you just want to sit down and lounge and relax and have lunch, this is a very packable, lightweight option. And, you know, half a pound, 5 feet long, thing will fit in your pocket. You know, if you got a cargo pocket, you can fit it right in there. And I mean, it's not bad. So yeah. And just to show you, there's the 5 foot long hammock straps that it's got little loops on the end. And suspension, I got the red loop on the head and gray on the foot. You can get whatever color you want, really. And I got these little titanium hooks and the little whoopee sling suspension. Just got that wrapped around the tree. Normally I would like to have an actual strap so I don't cause damage to the cambium layer of the tree, but for this purpose, just doing this. Likewise, down here on the foot end, I got a gray loop, and then I got my suspension right there. Like I said, that's probably, I would say, a good 2 feet, 2.5 feet at most up off the ground, so that's not too bad. I will note those little lines right there on this sweet gum tree. Yeah, that's from the whoopee slings, so that's generally why I don't like using them just by themselves. But in the case of this demonstration, I just put them on. It's sunk into that quite a bit. Some trees are a little more susceptible to this than others, but generally you want to try to use a strap or some sort of strap carrier around your whoopee sling if you're going to use it solo, so that it doesn't dig in like that so much. Well, folks, and there it is, all compacted down in its stuff sack. I got the suspension in there and everything, so that can fit right in your cargo pocket without any problems.
Well, everybody, if you like what you see, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification button, and check out Mikeycat Outdoors. As always, thanks for watching.